Good evening traders, Mark here from the day trading room. Time is 7:30 in the evening London time, Monday 24th of January 2011. Going to really quickly run through the trades today, get this blog update done quickly. I've got another video from last week to upload, so that might come after that because it's a little bit longer. Going to some of my trades on from Friday and I think Thursday, but just want to get these documented from today. Okay, let's start off with oil actually. 1 minute at the bottom here. You can see I'm only sort of interested from 2 o'clock. As when the volume starts picking up. Disappointed to have missed this downdraft, considering this has happened quite regularly, and you'll see from the Friday video that I've been jumping on that a couple of times. Don't know why it's happening, but it seems to be occurring, and just completely out of tune really in the morning session for this. It pushed down. This was another opportunity to get short. Didn't take it, so I missed all this. Disappointing, but that happens. And I tried to pick a long point here, thinking this had flushed quite a while. It pushed low. We got that tail there and started to push up, so that was my buy. But as always, if you're wrong, you've got to get out of these, and unfortunately I got out. It was the candle that was the low of that swing, but it happens. I don't risk anything large on those sort of plays, especially when you're trying to trade for that flush. If it doesn't flush, if it flushes immediately, then looking for the buy straight afterwards. If it then revisits the low, then that trade's negated. It's a different type of trade. Then you need to look for a different setup. It should excuse me, it should push to a low, push back up, and then not revisit. It should push to the low. It should push the low, sorry, push back up, pause, and then that's when the buying should come in. That's the confirmation that you're going to look to hold onto the trade for the bigger move. And that's what I got later on actually. After missing all this and jumping in too early on that and taking a loss on this position, it's disappointing because obviously that was pretty much the bottom candle, and then it did push up. I didn't take that first pullback, but that was a good trade. I then took the double bottom on the second move. I was looking for the long, as you know here, got stopped out, then waited, had to wait a bit of time. We've got the double bottom, we've got this consolidation here. You can just see this amount of candles here. It consolidated at the low, so I'm not going to jump the gun. I just want that one more flush, and that just gives you that extra 10 points, just to give you a little bit of a leg in, if you like. If you don't want to take it, it's good confirmation anyway. So we've got the push below, we've got the good volume here. Important thing is straight back up. That's the important thing. Now that gives us the setup. Now we want the trigger. If it starts to push into this area here, this zone, which is the breakout zone, we're not interested, right? But because it pushes back up, it holds. There's my entry. I'm in at this candle here. My stop's going to be here. And this one, I'm looking now for, as soon as I see buying, then I'm looking for a longer, deeper cycle, back to the overbought condition. I'm going to take some off the table at that key level, 87.80 in this case, because of the congestion here, because of the interest we'd had earlier. Little spike up, nice little 25 tick scale, should I say. And then I'm looking to hold this position. I feel I've got a good position here. We've got a classical double bottom. It's had a good move. We're due a bit of a counter trend cycle, and you know what? That's what we got. We got a lovely push up. It pushed right back up, just shy of the VWAP. If I look on the 3 minute, let me get my candle tool out here. In 15:42, you can see there, just shy of the VWAP, but more importantly, right at that 50% retracement level. We're in the overbought condition on the 3 minute. I like to look at those cycles to see where we're at. So it's a good place for me to come all out, and that's a great trade. That is, that's the sort of trade you're looking for. Didn't work the first time, fine, take your loss, wait for the second time, hedge the risk, and then we hold it. We hold the position, and that is a good. We're in at 50, in the high 50s on that one, and we're out at 88.15 or something. So it's a good 50-60 cent, 50 cent move on the rest of that position. So that's a nice trade. But then we're looking for the short. I was very tempted to reverse actually here, but I thought I would just wait and see if it would poke over this key level. You know, it had been key earlier in the day. If you can see, if you can see this here, I'd already marked it on, and it had been key as a point of where we'd paused very slightly around this 88.20 level. 88.20. So you know it's a key level. I'm then looking for the short, and actually this is a nice little setup. But you know what? I lost my patience on this, and I lost a little bit of my bottle. It popped up nicely over that VWAP, came straight back down. There's my short. Just looking for that pop over, the pause. No real volume. No one's getting involved in it. Started to curl over. Just decided to close that. Decided to close the whole lot for that at that point there. I don't know why, to be honest, because that's a nice short. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. I just thought we'd come a long way, perhaps. I don't know, you know, I can't really justify that. Anyway, it took some off the table, but it was disappointing because, you know, the premise of the trade was to look for a revisit of the lows, and this would have been a perfect exit point. You know, another 40 cents, but wasn't to be. Didn't get it. So sat out all this, and I'm now looking again for another long. Funnily enough, we had the same situation, the same sort of setup as we had earlier, which, you know, I can't argue with them. If they're going to happen again, I'll take it again. See the consolidation we had here? Exactly the same here. The consolidation just near to that low level. Lovely bit of consolidation, several minutes. Then we got the flush. We got the good volume flush, flushing people out. And more importantly, the next subsequent two candles take it back to this level. I was a little bit cautious. I didn't buy there. I waited, and I waited until this break point had broken. So my entry was at the tip of that candle there. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. I got it, and that was my entry. I was looking for the tip of that candle there. And again, I was looking for a good deep cycle on this one. You know, really, there's potential for it to break that high there. But again, I'm doing what I always do. I'm scaling out key levels. Not so much, more of a congestion level rather than an actual specific point. It pushed up. You know, there's a bit of congestion here from before. You know, the top of it here, a bit of congestion. So it pushed up. I gave it a little bit of chance. It pulled back on me for quite a bit. Pushed back up. When I saw it fail to take out that high, I took half off the table there. I'm dragging my stop up to this point here. Why this point here? Because this is really the flush zone, if you like. Anywhere back in here negates the trade completely. It shouldn't revisit levels. If you're taking a trade based on the premise of a flush, then the market should not revisit that flush point because it doesn't become a flush anymore. A flush is a panic selling in the case of a downdraft flush. Panic selling, stops being triggered, people entering the market, and then it popping straight back up and it developing a new value point higher in the range. So a revisit negates the trade. So my stop is there. I've taken half off the table and I'm just looking for a run. And you know, I was sitting through this for a while. I just thought maybe, you know, it popped up here, took out the high by a few ticks, started to come back. I then tightened my stop up a little bit tighter. Didn't really want it to push down to here. You know, if my premise was right, it was going to drive up aggressively, and possibly because of that, I came out a little bit early on it. I saw that, you know, this was a little high point here. The 90 was a bit of a key level. Sorry, 87.90 was a key level, and when I saw us push over that with the good bit of volume, I closed the position. We did happen to run on right to the top of that range that we'd marked on, the 88.20, and consolidated there for a while. But you know, I was happy to take that good move. So some great trades on oil for me. Really pleased with those trades. Apart from missing the first flush down and getting caught out trying to buy a little bit too early without waiting for confirmation. You know, it worked out okay. And that probably made me more determined to actually wait for my setups and really nail them. And just very quickly, my YM trade, hopefully you can see this. I decided to stick with this one. You know, I let this one run on a long way for me. This is probably the longest I've held a trade for a while. We're overdue a trend day in the Dow. You know, we've been pushing. You know, we're due one. I was thinking maybe we'd hit the 12k mark today. That was a sort of premise I had in the back of my mind. I'm looking for a good entry point. I'm going to take take the trade. I'm going to scale out half, and I'm going to have a free trade then. Um, you know, oil's volatile, so we can do our day trades and our scalps on that. If the Dow was truly going to be a trend day, then it was an opportunity to get a really good move. And so I waited for my entry. I thought we may get our, you'll see that on the video, on the Friday's video. I thought that Friday might be the trend day, didn't get it, and that didn't work out. But today we pushed up, took out the high. Here's the 1 minute, took out the high, pulled back to the VWAP. Good ticks, good solid ticks. Pulled back to the VWAP. Um, it, you know, it's worth a go. There's my long. I'm going to scale out. Half of it approaches that high, and now I can bring my stop up just below the break even, and it's a free trade then. That's what I was trying to engineer, and that's what I created. And then from then on it became a patience game, and I had to not look at it and had to just treat it as a longer term trade. As I said in my blog, coming to the end of the new year, that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm trying to do, apart from obviously adding the extra markets like the oil, trying to hold those trades longer, trying to grab onto those moves. They are my weak spot, the trend days. So if I can try and get better at those, as well as really getting aggressive with the active markets like oil, then all the better. So there was my long, just on the pullback to the VWAP, classical little trade, and the little cluster of resistance there from that bull flag prior. Pulled back, pushed on. There's my scale on half. I gave it a little chance to pop over and end up coming out this candle here. New high in the ticks, thought it might push on, didn't. But happy, that's the trade I was looking for. Taking half off the table, right there. Then I'm dragging the stop up just below my entry point here. It's a free trade. Whatever happens now, it's not costing me anything. It's not going to be a loser. The only thing I'm doing is playing basically with the profits from that move. So once I was in that trade, I had to step back and then just really glance at it from time to time after I've been trading oil. And to be honest, there was no reason to close the position. The trend was just one of those plodding days that you absolutely hate when you're not in it. But if you're in it and you can stick with it, you need to say, is there a reason to sell? I know there isn't. And unfortunately, I took off another quarter of the position. And I say unfortunately, but I think it was the right thing to do. This is my little zone. If you've seen my videos before, that's the midday point at the New York time. We consolidated a bit here, and I just thought, will it get one more push? It didn't get it, so I closed another quarter at midday. So that was a lovely move to get on board. And then what I did also was actually a little bit cheeky. As we pushed down, this was actually the first counter trend cycle on the 3 minute, so I felt obliged to actually put that quarter back on, even though it was slightly higher. If you look at the 3 minute here, this is the first oversold condition after the downtrend, and I'd always be taking these. And even though it was slow, I thought, you know what, I can put the quarter back on, I can leave my stop where it was. It's still a free trade, and as it happens, we pushed up, got that pop, and I took it all out there, and so it was a nice little extra bonus. And that was the last half, so it was that quarter and the quarter from prior. And the reason I took it out there was literally because it took out that high. That was the prior high, popped through, good volume. I thought that'll do. I've stuck with this enough. I've done my job. It's a great trade. I'm banking that. So, good start to the week. Activity on oil. Caught a trend on the Dow, which I haven't done for a while. This is the different strategies we're using. Out of my comfort zone a little bit with these trend trades, but at the end of the day, if they're going your way, and you've got a free run, yet you're still producing income from your scalping and your day trading in another market, then there's no reason to close. So let's see how we get on the rest of the week. Good trading, guys, and I shall be back with another video shortly.